What's up? I'm Christopher Ryan, and I'm a singer-songwriter based out of Philly, and I'm the next co-host on The Dream.
What's up? It's your boy Seam. Welcome back to The Dream. I got a special guest here with me today. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Christopher Ryan.
I'm sorry.
That's it. No, that's it.
So I got Christopher and Ryan here with me. I did not mean to interrupt. I'm sorry,
You're
bro.
fine.
But before we get into anything, I don't want to just throw a bunch of questions on my boy. We're gonna first start with a mental check.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'm big on the mental. So first, I'm gonna ask you first. How are we feeling mentally?
I'm feeling good mentally. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
For the first time, I'm like juggling a lot of different things.
Okay.
But I feel good. Like I feel blessed. I feel good. Just a little tired, trying to leverage everything.
Right.
But you?
That's a good question. I think I could agree. I think I agree with you. Like I'm tired, but like mentally, like, I feel like the mental is like it's getting there.
Okay.
It's getting there. I think I had a crazy week and it cooked me. For real. But
be like that.
yeah, I feel like. But like, wait, you said that you juggling a lot of stuff right now, right? I feel like I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
What you juggling right now? What you got going on?
Working full time. Being a musician for the first time, like hitting the ground running and kind of leveraging like all things like transportation, assistant, emails, bookings, managing, start like all of it, like doing all of the parts. So that's just a lot, and I have my hands in a lot of different things. So I'm doing it all.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna talk more about that. But first, you already know we're on a dream. So my 3 top questions is where you from, what's your dream, and how you chasing it. So first, we're gonna ask you where you from, Chris.
I'm originally from Philly.
Okay.
But
Why you say it like that?
I am a like suburban like county
Right.
kid. So I was born in the city and like grew up in the city, but I went to school in the county.
Right.
So
So wait, what like how was it well, I can't even ask you the comparison. But like how would you think like school was like going out there, like for you?
Definitely different. I went to school in the city for a couple of years.
All right, so I can ask that.
Yeah.
So comparing like versus like going to school in the city versus like where you were, like what would you say?
The opportunities and maybe the freedom was definitely different.
Right.
I was lucky enough to go to a school that had like a lot of funding for the arts. So we had like a really nice theater, really nice music classes and teachers. So the difference for me, the biggest one was probably the opportunities and the variety in different avenues that a student can go.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of different sports, swim teams, a bunch of different arts classes and programs. So for me, the opportunity and the area, like our school was huge. It was like one school broken down into 4 parts. So a lot of the students kind of just like
Had like a campus.
yeah, no, really, like we had like a tunnel
Yeah.
that went from our middle school to our high school that you could like walk under.
Right.
So yeah, very like campus
That's
for
lit.
sure. Yeah.
So, but when you came in the city, that was like it was way different.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah, nah.
Cause I could speak on that part too. Because when I was cause I'm from the city.
Yeah.
I'm from the city, right? And like I feel like I'm from here, so it was like this all I knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my mom and dad, they moved me to Delaware.
Yeah.
That was like more like the suburban areas and stuff like that. And I'm not even gonna lie, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was like I feel like but the only reason why I say that about that, it was like I was behind.
Okay.
I was behind in education.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like on
The,
my
the system will do it
It's
though.
crazy.
The switching,
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
the curriculum of a city school to a county school, really would be like a complete 180.
Yeah, like the grading scale and everything. I think the grading system was like a B was like a 92 to 100 some shit like that. I'm like, yo, this is not what I'm used to. But all right, so we know where my boy from. So let's talk about the dream. What's the dream?
The dream is to be a creative and to make timeless music, not only as the artist but just as the curator, the songwriter, and the person who just makes it all happen.
Right. And he doing his thing. So I gotta check him out on Instagram. I'm gonna, leave his link at the bottom right here. But before we even go there, how we chasing this dream? I know how you chasing the dream, but tell the people how we chasing this dream.
For the first time, I'm chasing the dream by hitting the ground running and being confident in the work that I'm putting out. For years, I put music out for 4-ish years, and I never promoted it. I never told anybody. It was kind of like a kept secret. If you knew, you knew.
Right.
But for the first time, I'm like, oh, you got a show? I'm performing. Oh, you got an opportunity? I'm there. I'm chasing the dream truly by like getting into spaces that are built for creatives by creatives.
As you should. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. But what brought like because you know it take a lot of people like to really build that confidence.
Yeah.
I think 4 years that's a decent amount of time. You know what I mean, especially your age. You know what I mean. So like we still in our 20s and stuff like that. But like what like really like knock that confidence in and you like yo I gotta do this like.
I took like 3 or 4 years off from making music, and over that time, I truly just worked with other creatives, and I think that helped push me towards being more confident.
Right.
I've only ever made music by myself in my house, writing it all myself, making all of it happen on my own. So being in spaces with other creatives helped motivate me to really see the potential in it, and to kind of pour back into myself and just feel confident and be like, no, you do have it, and like push harder at it and really grow to perfect that craft.
Right. So like, what's the so what type of music you putting out? Like, what type of music you want to reach the people?
Currently, it's like a good like R&B like pop inspired, hip hop inspired. It's definitely anchored in R&B, and I feel like there's influences from everything. But I just want it to be good music. I can't say I'm always going to be in one genre, but currently it's like a good R&B.
I love that.
R&B anchor spot. Yeah,
I can see you doing you know.
Yeah, my playlist goes crazy. I promise you, it's a variety. Yeah.
I'm already knowing personally.
Yeah,
I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
But what I was about to say so while chasing this dream and stuff like that, do you ever feel like it was like ever like discouraged? Like, well, let's just speak on this year. Let's just speak on this year because I know that you really took the ground up running this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll be in like 3 months in.
4 now.
4 months in.
Yeah.
So like let's say like how do you feel like the journey has been so far? Like, do you ever feel like you got discouraged like in the mix this year? Like, how you been feeling?
This year truly is the best year I've had musically, for a lot of different reasons. But in the past, I feel like I would get discouraged by social media will taint the perception of what it is to be a musician, and you will see so many people who are doing the same thing as you but maybe not as good, or they don't have the drive and the determination, but they are on a chart or they're at these award shows. But for the first time, I just believed in the work. I believed in myself and all of the energy I put into it.
Hell yeah.
And I think that has allowed for me to not really care about all of the other things, and I can truly see that that's a benefit for me. Because I don't care if you stream it or if you don't. But I realize that in the confidence in me pushing it, people will.
Yeah.
And, you know, that truly has been great for me. So this year, it's just really been a high, like a good high. I don't think anything has been discouraging. Everything really has just been like a blessing, to say the least.
Right, especially like with promoting. Like, I feel like you do really good with promoting your music too.
Thanks.
Like, yeah,
I try.
Especially like, you know, the new the music that you just we'll talk more about that. I don't want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think you did a really good job of promoting that. You know what I mean? Like, I think promoting is, especially with music, that's like a big component.
Huge.
You know what I mean?
Huge.
But my next question was, because I know that when you go on Instagram and stuff like that, you see like all these other different, you know, music people and stuff like that. Like, would you say you ever compare yourself? Be honest.
Not to people on Instagram, but to peers and people that I work closely with, or people that I know that do music.
Is it like a bad comparison? Like, is it like a I want to, like, you know, be able to be at that point, or like what type of like?
I think it's good and bad. I think sometimes being a musician and being in certain music spaces, you run across artists that are on different levels and different thresholds of success. So I think you can just compare yourself in good ways. I like to look at the artists that I am inspired by and that I think have great work ethic, and compare myself in all the ways that maybe I'm lacking and how I can achieve that traction that they're getting, or that real push that they have. And I also look at some of the artists maybe that I'm not the biggest fan of, but look at what they're doing good, and I realize that in a lot of the artists that I personally maybe feel like I feel maybe not the best way about, I try to take, like, what are they doing that's getting them this traction? And I've learned that it's, like, consistency. I feel like there's a learning lesson in everything. For me, the artists that inspire me, I look up to for creativity and for work ethic and, like, how to push the talent. And then the other artists I look at, like, how are you marketing yourself? How are you getting into these spaces? How are you building that confidence up? So I just compare myself and how I can grow as an artist.
Thinking. Okay. Yeah. I like that a lot. I don't think that's a bad comparison. I think that's a...
No.
I think that's a comparison that you should be able to do, like, especially as an artist coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to grow within.
For
you know what I mean? Grow as an artist and all that. But so who do you look up to? Like, who does inspire you to, like, with the music stuff? On
a grand scale,
let's do this. What male? Because you say you into like R&B and stuff like that, but I know that you like into different genres.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say what male R&B artists like inspire you? And then we're gonna do female.
Can I do two?
Yeah.
The first one on a grand level would be Chris Brown.
Okay. Okay.
When it comes to
that makes sense.
The ability that he has to produce music and like crank music out, no one's touching him.
Mm-hmm.
The albums that have 30-some songs on them, the quality of the music, the consistency for now almost 20 years, like I think that is peak. Also just leveraging, I know at one point in time he had the clothing brand and just being a brand in his entirety, like I think that is really good. And I want to say on a personal level, Julian King out of Philly.
Okay.
He actually is my Grammy mentor.
Okay.
Shout out to the Julian King.
Yes, sir.
He on a day-to-day basis shows me that the dreams I have are tangible.
Mm-hmm.
He balances a lot as well, and he's also very, very transparent about that.
Nice.
And I even said to him, like, the way that he's an inspiration to others is letting people know that, like, hard work pays off, consistency pays off, talent pays off, and to invest in yourself and to just keep going. I think that he is like a trailblazer out of the city, and being from the city, navigating from Philly. So navigating the same spaces and getting in the same rooms that maybe he once was in, like, is truly inspiring. Because, I can say Chris Brown did a bunch of things down in VA, but I'm not in those spaces. It don't mean nothing to me, but to know that, like, someone you look up to performed here once, and then that led to this, helps you really focus in on, like, how close your goal really is and how tangible your dreams are.
Nice. So wait, so how often do y'all work together?
We communicate often enough.
Okay.
We don't necessarily work together. Like, we haven't, like, worked together on music.
Okay.
I'm grateful to enough to have been in his spaces a lot of times, seeing him in a creative process and getting a lot of advice and just support from him. So he's just a really good
That's fair.
person to have that I know I can call and just, like, ask anything to, for sure.
Right. All right, so that's about the females. Like, who you think will inspire you as a female?
Beyonce.
Of course.
To know me when you're watching this, if you know me, you know that it's Beyonce.
Right.
I'm never gonna shy away from that.
And you know what's crazy? I'm not even into music, but Beyonce inspired me too. Yeah. It inspires the fuck out of me. It's like, when we talking about, like, work ethic and all that, like, what? She go ham. Like, I want to be like that. Like,
for sure. The dedication Beyonce has to her craft before anything else is the inspiration. I think if you watch any interview or anything from anyone who has worked with her, they say, like, she's there before they get there, and then even when they go home, she's still there. And then when she does leave, she's still working. And that's how it is for me. Like, currently, like, I work a full-time job, but I get off and I'm like, I got 100 and some things to do. I'm texting this person, calling that person, because it's like, you have to get it done. Yeah,
the work, like, it's like the work never freaking stops.
The work don't stop.
It never freaking stops.
Yeah.
All right, so now we talked about we didn't talk about that. I want to speak on, like, some difficulties you had like with, like, coming up, like, with music and stuff like that. Have you had any like difficulties? Like,
I feel like a lot of my difficulties are just self-inflicted.
It's just like, okay, and it was like boosting that confidence, right?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the difficulties I had was believing in myself enough to really push myself into spaces that maybe were there are opportunities that I just didn't feel deserving of.
Right.
I've been blessed to say that I haven't really dealt with anything from, like, weird producers or like people just being strange or.
Good, because I heard about the industry.
It's strange. No, it's very, very strange. But I'm blessed to say that has not been my experience.
Right.
All the difficulties have just been self-inflicted.
Okay, that's what's up. So let's talk about some successful moments.
Okay.
All right. So can you, like, share, like, one successful moment you feel like you had?
Recently or ever?
Let's speak recently, because we just started hitting the ground running 2025. So let's talk about 2025.
The ending of 2024 into 2025, I'll say the Grammy mentee / mentorship program. That is a highlight to me, because as a musician and a fan of music, the Recording Academy is the threshold of what so many deem as success. Even to just be recognized. So to be able to be a part of the Grammy U mentorship program out of Philadelphia is a highlight, because it proved to me that all the years that I've been working, because you have to, like, submit a bunch of stuff. There's, like, a whole process behind that. So to know that so many people out of the city applied for that, but I was actually one of the ones who was lucky enough to get through that, validated all the years of hard work for me.
Fire.
Yeah,
that's right. That's top tier.
Yeah.
That's top tier right there. I'm proud of you, bro. Like, I actually remember you posting about that.
Yeah, and
every time you tell me about it, it's just like...
The craziest thing about that was I debated posting it.
Why?
Because I felt like I wasn't deserving of it at the time. I remember reading the email I got when I got it. I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And I even remember, like, once I posted it, I didn't tag Julian in it. I, like, mentioned him in the comment, but I didn't tag him because I don't ever want it to feel unauthentic or like I'm trying to boast or brag or be
right, I see what you're saying.
Like weird when it comes to like clinging to a name or like, oh, I know this person. But yeah, looking back, that's a highlight.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what you were saying though, that's your moment, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's something that you should share. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, you was able to work with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why not tag him?
Yeah.
Like that. I don't feel like it's not nothing you bragging about.
He didn't feel that way either.
Yeah,
like I like
sharing your success.
Yeah,
like,
we talked about it, but the industry can be such a very, very strange place.
I see what you're saying.
You don't ever want to. At the time when I posted it, we hadn't really connected much then. It was like only a few times, so I didn't want it to feel like I'm jumping straight to socials to like straight name drop and just be like weird clout chasey. I wanted it to feel authentic and still give him his flowers as well as everyone else who got me there. But I just didn't want it to feel like from the outside looking in like I was trying to just be like.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but shit. I would have posted. You know what I mean? I'm glad you shared that moment with us. But let's talk more about music. You know what I mean? So, do we got any new music this year?
We do. Confessions of a Toxic Lover is out right now, available everywhere.
Go stream it. Go stream it.
Run it up, stream it, share it.
I listened to it a few times. Yeah. But let's talk about that project.
Yeah.
Like, how was that project for you?
Very, very, very good. The funniest part about Confessions is it wasn't supposed to be a project.
It wasn't supposed to be a project. So what was it supposed to be?
Cry This Valentine's actually was...
Wait, when did this come out?
This came out in 2022, 2023.
Right.
And it was just a single, like a throwaway single. It came out on Valentine's Day. And I liked it. It was actually one of my favorites, but I feel like at the time, there wasn't any promotion. I just kind of threw it out. Like, I think I made it 2 days before and dropped it. Mm-hmm. And so this year, I was like, wow, I kind of want to give it its, like, moment, and I wanted to allow it to actually live. And so I was going to re-release it with a sibling single.
Okay.
So my goal was to go in and just write another single that went with that, and that was going to be it. And I ended up writing one song, and I was like, wow, this is kind of, like, toxic, and this is kind of cool. And for me, once I release music in my experience in the past... I typically feel very uninspired. So...
How come, though?
I don't know. I feel like I just emptied the clip. It's kind of like, well, that was it. I think maybe because...
You mean like after you drop the project, you just feel like...
Usually after I'm done writing the project and it's recorded and it comes out, I'm like, well, I'm done with music. Because I put so much of myself in the present time into the bodies of work that I feel like, well, this documents the past 2 years or whatever the case may be. So I wrote that one song and it truly inspired me to make music again. And I was like, well, like, you're on this high, like, just keep going.
Right.
And we just cranked out in a matter of 2 weeks. It was like, well, we wrote, recorded it, we're done.
Right. So, so would you say, speaking on toxic, what is it? Toxic?
Confessions of a Toxic Lover.
All right. Is this connected in a way?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
so like,
this was definitely the anchoring point on there, which is why I decided to put it back on there.
Right.
And I made it the opening, like, full song on the project because I loved it. And it truly was the reason why we even got to a full project, being able to rediscover that song and kind of listen to it. I even went back in and remixed it, remastered it, kind of gave it a nice new feel, kind of added some stuff, took some stuff away. So, yeah, it all came together as one cohesive moment, for sure.
That's fire. I do got a few questions, though. This cover is fire as hell.
Thanks, yeah.
Did you do this on your own?
I did.
You did this on your own? So, like, can we... What's the roses in the... That's fire.
So this is actually shot in my living room.
Okay.
Yeah. So this photo alone is probably 3 or 4 years old. That's what I say. When this was a throwaway single, it was like, let's just find a photo. Yeah. So I shot this in my living room. I hand strung the roses from my ceiling. They were like taped to the ceiling by like white string.
Okay.
Yeah, I put a backdrop up. I got a piece of paper and cut it into a heart and had my mom spray paint the hearts into my hair. And we shot this.
Wow.
And so then I just edited the Polaroid feel and then the roses and all that. But
wow, that's lit.
Yeah.
That's really fire.
Yeah.
But so I'm starting to connect it. I'm starting to connect it the more and more I talk to you about the music.
Yeah.
But so let's talk more about the new song you just put out. Why the title?
The title for me was an exaggeration of many different versions of myself.
Okay.
The song in this one specifically, one of the last lyrics is like, I hope you die, which I think is a very, very toxic thing to say.
Wait, what's in this one?
Yep, in this one. So it says like, I hope you die this Valentine's. And I wanted something that felt...
Did this drop on Valentine's too?
Yes, that one did. It dropped the week before.
Okay. Right,
so
cool,
for all the toxic lovers, we could like wean our way into it.
Got you.
Yeah. I just wanted something that felt cohesive. I wanted something that felt strong and brandable.
Mm-hmm.
It just unfolded. It was called Toxic Lover at first, but then as I started to write more of the songs, I realized that I was writing from a place of like healing and venting in a way, and it felt like a confession.
Yeah.
And my goal for this project was to take all the ways that maybe I was not the best lover to people, confess it and let it go. No different than in religion when people go and they go like to confession, like they get up and it's like they wipe their hands clean.
Yeah.
So it has a very dual meaning of, while I am confessing to the world all of these things that are not nice, also the duality is a religious tie of like I'm confessing and I'm kind of wiping myself clean of it, and I get to enter a new phase.
Oh yeah. Okay. Because my next question was, I'm about to say, nobody broke your heart, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So okay. Because I didn't want to stay on harsh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So because everybody been through their phases like that, but because like you basically like more like. Which is so selfless of you, and I love that. Because you didn't even talk about your heart being broken. Yeah. You know what I mean? You basically, like, talked about more of, like, you, like, taking, like, own, like, basically, like, taking...
I take ownership of falling short, for sure.
Right.
And I think that this project is born
out of... Which is very rare, because people don't do that.
This project is born out of... the world we live in, and so many women having the opportunity to like speak their truth, and men are always like wrong or whatever that narrative is. So I kind of felt like, well, why not actually just be like, I'm wrong. I wasn't right.
You had your right.
And I just wanted it to feel good to me to face some of the things that maybe I didn't realize I was doing, or sometimes the ways that I was showing up in the world.
Right.
So I just wanted to just talk about it in the most exaggerated form possible, for sure.
Right. Well, you're doing your thing, especially putting it into the music.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So, like, do we have anything come next, or like we just gonna we're gonna sit on the music right now, or like we working on something?
Currently on April 19th, I have a like group culmination album coming out with a bunch of talented creatives that we curated over the past year.
Nice.
We do this thing called Creatives Camp, and we lock into the studio for like a weekend, and we all just cook in different spaces.
Ooh. So it's gonna be like a cypher type vibe.
Very like variety album. DJ Khaled, like the production's fire. It just has a bunch of different artists on it. It's a really good vibe, a really good time, and I actually am working / finished up on a joint project with a homie of mine that should be coming top of the summer.
That was gonna be one of my questions too, because I was wondering, because I know that he said, I don't know if y'all remember, but he said that he worked by himself.
Yeah.
And that was a question, like, are you ever open to like collabing with somebody? And I see that you definitely working with somebody.
For sure.
How has that been for you?
Great. I think we both found each other in a space where creatively, like, we both needed that push. Mm-hmm. We actually talk about it, like, when we met each other in the camp. It was like, I think we both kind of were tapped musically, and it was just being in that creative space allowed for us to be inspired by each other. Right. And I think that his work ethic and his dedication to the craft is remarkable, and it inspires me so much. So I just think that relationship and dynamic for creating music together unfolded naturally. And I wouldn't have wanted to do a joint project with anybody else, truly.
Right. So, that's what's up. So, are you open to working with anybody?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, you heard it here first in the dream. If you're ever interested in working with Christopher, he's definitely open. I'm going to leave his tag right here at the bottom of the screen. Get with my boy.
Call me, DM me, message me.
Let's get into it.